Good morning, dear brothers and sisters. Have a wonderful day today.
Now, they've listened to you. They're really going to have a wonderful day. My dear brothers and sisters, first joke of the morning, rise and shine. There is this person, a young guy, who goes to an investment meeting, the businessman's investment meeting. Okay, it's big, it's finance. Okay,
Yeah.
and then he sees a wonderful, beautiful lady walk into the room.
Yeah.
And he is taken up by her. He says, "My God, what a wonderful, good-looking, beautiful female." Walks up to her and says, "I may be looking simple, I may be looking a small-time guy, but my father is very wealthy, very, very, very wealthy. And in a few years after he passes away, all that wealth will be mine because I am the only son." She's impressed, takes his car. After 3 months, he comes to know she's married the father. Okay? That's called business tactic, bro. You understand? You're a businessman, right? Okay? Don't do anything of this. It's a joke, all right? Well. Today we have got a giant. Saint Francis of Assisi. Somebody with one of the guys with the stigmata, right? One of the saints, all right? And brother, please enlighten us.
Wow.
Huge.
I have read Saint Francis of Assisi's story many times.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
Very much.
And to be honest with you, I will not do justice even to talk a little bit about him. Okay, he was born in the year 1181 in Assisi in Italy.
Yes,
Okay.
Correct.
And he was the son of a very, very rich merchant, a cloth merchant. His father had high hopes for him to become a merchant and a wealthy man like him.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And of course, like every other parent.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was always wars between places, between cities, between countries at that time. And as young man, he was bound to be joining the army.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
He was a very, guy who is to have a lot of fun and a lot of a macho man, we would call him.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
He really had peace and so on and so forth.
Correct.
Really enjoyed himself as
As a young guy, parties, friends, and all that.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely.
He lived it up.
He lived up to his reputation and to his father's reputation.
Yes.
After joining the army,
Before one thing,
Yeah.
we say lived it up.
Yeah.
Have you noticed
yeah,
the rich younger generation?
yeah,
They are usually trying to show off to the other that I am richer than you.
yes,
I have got better car than
Yes.
you. I have got a bigger bank balance
Absolutely.
than you. This is what he must have done.
Absolutely.
There you go. Okay,
Absolutely.
brother. Let's go.
absolutely.
Sure.
And he had many lovers also.
Yes, of course.
He had many lovers,
Of course.
and his mother was always on his side,
Yeah.
pampering him and so on.
Correct.
His father was always very furious that he was
Tough
not
guy.
listening to him.
Tough guy. Yes.
Yes. And of course, he joined the army.
Yes.
And after joining the army, of course, he heard the voice of God.
Right.
Where God was, he was a knight.
Correct.
He was a knight.
Correct.
And one day as he was traveling, he heard the voice of God.
Correct.
And God said, "Come." He was wondering whether he was actually hearing some strange voices or whatever.
Yes.
And he deserted the army and went home.
Right.
He was a brave fighter.
Amen. Yes.
His father had given him over to a very nice man who taught him how to fight and so on.
Big knight,
Big knight.
Yeah.
So deserting an army during that time was supposed to be like a criminal offense.
Yes.
So he was put into dungeons.
Correct.
And his father actually pleaded and this, that and the other, and he was brought out. He spent a lot of time in that, and he had become sick. He had pneumonia or whatever. He was very, very sick.
Yes.
In that prison.
Yes.
And when he came out, he was actually contemplating He was wondering what God really wanted him to do.
Exactly.
And he came across this beggar who was asking for alms.
Right.
He, actually did not give him alms, but later on, he took all the money that he had and gave it to him.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
His father was very, very furious.
Yeah.
Because everything he used to take from the house and give it to the poor. Give it to the poor.
Correct.
His heart was always towards the poor. So one day, the father comes and complains to the bishop.
Right.
In Assisi.
Yeah.
So what Saint Francis does is that day he goes, removes all his clothes.
Yes.
And gives it to his father.
Correct.
And says, from today, I have no more father, earthly father.
Correct.
I have only one father in heaven.
Wonderful.
And he leaves everything. And he lives a total life of poverty.
Excellent.
Helping people and doing things.
Amen.
Okay? And you see, as he goes on and on and on, his congregation slowly grows.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
He really attracts people, attracts his friends, and he lives a real good life.
Yes.
And they're really doing well. One fine day, he goes to the Pope.
Right.
There are only 9 or 10 of them.
Correct.
He goes to the Pope. And to his amazement, he could bypass the guards and this, that, and the other and reach to the Pope.
Yes.
Because God was with him.
Amen.
And the Pope just sort of ridicules him and says, what, just the 9 of you and you're such a shabby this thing, and what you want to have a congregation of your own.
Correct.
He wanted to have the Franciscan order.
Right.
And it was just 9, 10 of you guys, what is this, bunch of fools.
I know.
And he sends him away.
Correct.
That night, I can't remember the name of the Pope.
He gets a dream, right?
He gets a dream where the church is falling and one poor man is holding the church.
Exactly.
One poor man is holding the church.
Yes. Wow.
And the Pope calls him the very next day and he recognizes that this was the man who had come to him yesterday. In his dream.
Yes.
Okay? He calls him and gives him the order. He gives him the order.
Correct.
So you can imagine, my dear friends, my dear brothers and sisters, one man can make a difference.
Oh yes.
One man.
Oh yes.
And today, if you're listening to me, you could be that one man. You could be that one woman.
Hallelujah.
Because God has a plan.
Amen.
He says the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
Hallelujah.
Pray therefore to the Lord of the harvest to send forth laborers in his vineyard.
Yes.
So this one man who took upon this challenge of it,
right.
Yes. Can you imagine?
One man. Yeah,
one man.
Who shook the world. Yes, absolutely.
I was told that when he had first approached the bishop, the bishop told him, go and preach to the pigs.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that story is true or not. I'm unable to confirm.
And he was obedient.
So he was obedient and he went and started preaching to the pigs.
Yes.
So the Pope sent men everywhere to search for him. They couldn't find. Finally, he remembered he had told him to go and preach to the pigs. So he went there and he was preaching to the pigs obediently.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. So such is this man who was so dedicated, and today the Capuchin order is an offshoot of this Franciscan
order. Yes.
And we are living in this Capuchin diocese over here.
Correct.
So when he actually went and he was praying to God, God asked him, Francis, build my church.
Correct.
And that was one of the beautiful things that happened.
Yes.
So Francis was thinking that God wanted him to build a church with the bricks and mortar.
Yeah. Exactly.
So he went about collecting bricks and mortar and started building the church.
He was begging for it, literally.
Yes, he was literally begging for it. I believe that there is a church which he had built a portion of it.
Yeah?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And then finally God said, no, this is not the church I want you to build. And he went about actually building the church of God, because during that 14th century or 12th century, the church was actually falling apart.
Correct.
Actually falling apart.
Exactly.
So one man who dedicated his life, and through his life
Amen.
So many other people and came and met the Lord.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and the church was actually saved from its ruins.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
And brother, this other saint who also was his follower later on,
Yeah.
came and joined,
Yeah.
the lady.
Yeah, Saint
Claire.
Saint Claire. Yeah.
Okay. She was actually in love with him.
Yes.
But he left and he joined us, and
Yes.
then she also came,
Yes.
and she dedicated her life to
her
the
life.
Lord.
You know, when I was in Rome,
Yeah.
no, when I was in Assisi,
Right.
I saw a table with the multiplication of bread. With the multiplication of bread.
Uh-huh.
So they had the miracle of the multiplication of bread.
Bread already.
When the bishop had come and so on, and they didn't have bread,
Oh.
they just simply blessed it and the bread multiplied.
Wow. Praise
Many,
God.
many miracles.
Another thing, he's got the stigma.
Stigmata and his life, you know, at the end of his life, how he was blind and so on and so
Oh
forth.
my God. Oh my
He
God.
went through many, many, many difficulties of his life. But one thing that we can know, that even he, a great saint like him, was feeling at the end of his life, did I really achieve something?
Exactly. After doing so much.
After doing so much.
Yeah. And before, on his deathbed,
Yeah.
he had one psalm read to him.
Yes.
He died hearing that psalm.
Yes.
Which is, I don't remember which psalm it is,
Yeah.
but that was one more thing. You know, so many beautiful
So
things.
many beautiful
Small things,
Yes.
but class apart. Huh?
Absolutely.
Yes. And he's I think, one of those giant of saints whose life each and every one should read in detail.
You know, one more very, very important thing. He came from Rome to the Holy Land
Yes.
on a mission for conversion and so on.
Correct.
And the Holy Land at that time was in the hands of Muslims. And they were fighting, Christians and Muslims were fighting.
Correct.
And he went to the sheikh or the king of that place at that moment. And the king summoned him. He said, I would have killed you. But looking at your love for your God,
I know.
I let you go.
Praise God.
He was not afraid of anything.
Right.
He was challenged and he said, I can go and stand in that fire. No problem.
Yeah. Very right. Yes, that is where he was supposed to walk on that fire, right?
Yes.
And he stops him before he gets onto the fire, yes. And he also asked the other, their local, some religious leader to walk. He ran away from there, you know? Oh, I remember that, yes. Anyway, praise God. We could go on and on, but there is plenty to go into. You just go and read the life of St. Francis of Assisi. Very inspiring. And again, like what we said in the beginning, they are coming to poverty and they have found God.
Amen. From rich to rags.
Riches to rags. That is the beautiful part about it.
Amen.
Praise God, and thank you very
God
much.
bless you, brothers and
God bless
sisters.
you.
Have a wonderful day. We could go on and on with the lives of the saints.
Amen.
But we want to keep it short.
Amen.
God bless.
God bless you.